Y'all have me making all of the quilts, every single one of them. I'm so into it. I have this gorgeous fabric, not sure if you know, but I have a new collection coming out, named The Little Ladies. And so we are making all of the things. Now these are 10-inch blocks. I have 2 of them. They're gonna go just like this. And 4 of them. I have 2 of each color. So here are all of my fabrics. All of my blocks will be exactly like this, but we're gonna sew 1 block together, and then I'm gonna sew my blocks and you're gonna sew your blocks, and we're gonna come back and put them together and make our quilt. Okay, these 4 are 10 by 10, 10 by 10, 10 by 10, 10 by 10, 10 by 10. Okay, these 2 match and these 2 match. Now I have a 5 by 5, a second 5 by 5. Oh, these go in here. 5 by 5 and 5 by 5. And these are 5 by 10. So everything's 5 by 5, 10 by 10, or 5 by 10. I don't want these fabrics to touch each other, so I'm rearranging them. And you could do more than 3 fabrics. Like I just have 3 fabrics here, but you could have as many as you wanted. This is just what I liked, but make what you like. That's what I do. The only rule is that you have to love it, unless you're making it for somebody else, and then I think we've all made things we didn't love, but they loved it and we love them, and that's what matters. Okay, so here is what our block is going to generally look like. And it's very big. I'm not even sure you can see it. Okay, let me move it over a little bit. I think now you can get a better idea of what it looks like. Now this one is huge. You could make this smaller, but I obviously like the big stuff because I think it's really easy for beginners. It's something that's totally attainable. It's not overwhelming, and something anybody can do in an afternoon is make one of these. And you could make this a mini quilt. I'm obviously making a few of these blocks, 6 actually. Oh, I burnt my arm. It really does hurt. Let me go get some burn cream. And anytime you look at something like this, what you're looking for is the straight side. Okay, we want all of our seams to be straight. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna pick up the first one, turn it upside down, and collect all of our pieces all the way down, just like this. Do the same thing here, here, and here. We're going to pick up the first 2 pieces, just like this, and we're gonna sew it down this side. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop, because my grandma said so. Do you see that? Now, we're going to take the bottom of it, we're gonna lay it right here on top of this one. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. There we go. Now, same thing, pretty side to pretty side. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. Now you're gonna get the 1/4 inch seam by following the edge of your fabric with the edge of your presser foot. Stop looking at your needle. If you don't look at your needle, I promise your seam will be nice and straight. And there you go. There's one row finished. Now we're gonna sew this row, and we're gonna sew it the same way. Pretty side to pretty side, straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when we start and when we stop. I'm gonna sew this row and the other 2 rows just like I sewed this one. Everybody, every single one of us, when we start sewing, we look at the needle because that seems to make sense, but don't do it if you follow the edge of your fabric with whatever your chosen guide is. Now my brain is trained to follow the edge of the presser foot, so I struggle with sewing anything that's not a 1/4 inch seam, but you use whatever guide you want. Just don't look at the needle. Follow the edge of your fabric with your chosen guide, and your seam will always be straight. We've sewn them, now let's iron them. This is my ironing situation, and it's a whole situation. Heat resistant pad, wool mat, Oliso Mini Pro 3 iron, all linked in my Walmart and Amazon storefronts if you're looking for them. The heat resistant pad is there because this is a wooden table, and I'm worried that the heat will go through my wool mat and burn my table. So the pad is there just in case. I'm ironing mine. I don't care what they look like on the back side. I'm not ironing them in one direction or the other. I just want them to be reasonably flat because it will make my quilt look so pretty. Now, I'm ironing all of this at my table where I work. But if it gets any bigger than this, like when this whole block is sewn together, I will take it to my ironing board because at some point it just gets too big to iron in such a small space. Lay your block back out like you want it to look. So pretty, y'all. So pretty. I had it pulled down too far and I thought it was wrong, but it's not. I mean, I don't think it is, but it wouldn't have surprised me if it was either. Now, we're going to sew this just like we sew all the rest of them. We're going to start on one side and sew across. So we're going to take the first row and lay it pretty side to pretty side on the second row. Now, I'm going to come down here and line up my seams. I'm not a pinner or a clipper, but if you are pinning or clipping, pin at your seams and then work your way out, because you want to make sure your seams match. I don't care what the top and the bottom looks like. We can trim that off, but the seam needs to match. If not, it steadily gets shorter as you go down, and you'll end up with one row this much shorter than the other. So pinch it, pleat it, pull it, whatever you got to do. Make sure your seams match as you go. We're going to sew this with a straight stitch and a 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when we start and when we stop, because my grandma said so. I'm making 6 of these blocks. I'm going to put them in 2 rows of 3, and I'll have a nice size quilt. We're going to open this up just like this. We're going to lay the next row on it, pretty side to pretty side, and we're going to sew right down this side. Just like we did the first one. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. And make sure your seams match. I have a very sophisticated filming situation. My phone is on a tripod with a shower mirror taped to the window so I can lean to the side to see what y'all can see. Okay, now we're going to sew our last row on. Pretty side to pretty side. Sew down the longest side. So when you see me leaning to the side, that's what I'm looking at. I'm trying to make sure you can see what I'm talking about. Dun, dun, dun. Now, here's our quilt block. Kind of big, and it needs iron, but it's adorable. Look how pretty that is. Well, let's see if we can iron it here, just because I want to talk to y'all while I do it. So I am making 6 of these total, 6 of these quilt blocks, and they will have different selections of fabric, all from the Little Ladies collection. So it'll all be the same collection. It will all be the Little Ladies fabric, but each block will have different fabrics in it, so that when you look at it all together, you can tell it's each individual block. It won't be these pieces repeated over and over. But now, I love something repeated over and over, so if that's how you want to do this, that's exactly how I want you to do it. Y'all, this is so pretty. And this is a quilt that looks like you put a lot of effort into it, but super easy. Comes together really fast, and you have quite the treasure. Now, I have 5 more of these to make. I'm gonna go make mine, you go make yours, and I'll meet you right back here, and we'll put it together and make our whole quilt. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.